You're listening to the CyberWire Network, powered by N2K.
This episode is brought to you by Experian. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use, but can't find the time or energy to cancel them? Experian could cancel unwanted subscriptions for you, saving you an average of $270 per year, and plenty of time. Download the Experian app. Results will vary. Not all subscriptions are eligible. Savings are not guaranteed. Paid membership with connected payment account required.
When it comes to ensuring your company has top-notch security practices, things can get complicated fast. Vanta automates compliance for SOC 2, ISO 27001, HIPAA, and more, saving you time and money. With Vanta, you can streamline security reviews by automating questionnaires and demonstrating your security posture with a customer-facing trust center. Over 7,000 global companies like Atlassian, Flow Health, and Quora use Vanta to manage risk and prove security in real time. Our listeners can claim a special offer of $1,000 off Vanta at vanta.com/cyber. That's VANTA.com/cyber for $1,000 off Vanta. Activists respond to the arrest of Telegram's CEO in France. Stealthy Linux malware stayed undetected for 2 years. Versa Networks patched a zero-day vulnerability, while Google has patched its 10th zero-day vulnerability of 2024. Researchers at Arcos Labs document Greasy Opal. A flaw in Microsoft 365 Copilot allowed attackers to exfiltrate sensitive user data. Gaff-git targets crypto mining in cloud-native environments. Microsoft investigates an Exchange Online messaging quarantine issue. Our guest is Bar Kaduri, research team leader at Orca Security, talking about AI GOAT, the first open-source AI security learning environment based on the OWASP Top 10 ML risks. And Kentucky prisoners trick tablets to generate fake money. It's Tuesday, August 27th, 2024. I'm Dave Bittner, and this is your CyberWire Intel Briefing. Thanks for joining us. It is great to have you here with us today. The arrest of Telegram CEO Pavel Durov in France sparked a wave of cyber attacks by hacktivists protesting his detention. French authorities detained Durov over Telegram's lack of moderation, which they claimed facilitated criminal activities. This move triggered backlash, with many viewing it as an attack on internet privacy and free speech. In response, hacktivist groups launched cyber attacks on French websites under the campaign Op Durov. Key targets included government sites, media outlets, and health agencies, primarily through DDoS attacks. Prominent groups involved include the Russian Cyber Army Team, linked to Russia-backed APT-44, and UserSec, both known for pro-Russian cyber activities. The Malaysian group RipperSec also participated. Despite these disruptions, many affected websites were back online by Monday afternoon, though some remained inaccessible. The attacks highlighted ongoing tensions over digital privacy and the geopolitical dimensions of cyber warfare. A quick program note, we have a detailed discussion on the arrest of Pavel Durov on this week's Caveat podcast. That episode drops this coming Thursday. Risk management firm Strauss Friedberg uncovered a malware named SEDEX that has been actively used since at least 2022, yet has remained undetected in online sandboxes. This malware employs an unusual persistence technique using UDEV rules, a device management system in Linux, to execute malicious code every time a specific device event occurs, ensuring it runs on every reboot. The technique used is not documented by MITRE ATT&CK, making it particularly stealthy. SetExp includes features like a reverse shell for remote control and memory manipulation to conceal its presence. This malware has been linked to a financially motivated threat actor who used it for activities like credit card scraping on compromised web servers. Google has patched its 10th zero-day vulnerability of 2024. Reported by a researcher known as The Dog, the high-severity flaw was caused by a bug in the compiler backend during just-in-time compilation in Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine. This vulnerability allowed remote attackers to exploit heap corruption via a crafted HTML page. Versa Networks has patched a zero-day vulnerability in its Versa Director GUI, which allowed attackers to upload malicious files via an unrestricted file upload flaw. This high-severity vulnerability, found in the Change Favicon feature, could be exploited by users with admin privileges to disguise malicious files as PNG images. The flaw affected customers who failed to implement recommended system hardening and firewall guidelines. The vulnerability, exploited by an advanced persistent threat actor in at least one attack, has prompted Versa to urge customers to upgrade their systems and apply hardening measures. CISA has added this zero-day to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, requiring federal agencies to secure vulnerable instances by September 13th. Researchers at Arcos Labs have documented Greasy Opal, an online business providing tools that enable cyber attacks, particularly through sophisticated CAPTCHA-solving software. Operated since 2009 from the Czech Republic, it offers solutions to a wide range of customers, including malicious actors. Its advanced machine learning models allow for rapid adaptation to new CAPTCHA challenges, making it a significant threat in cybersecurity. Greasy Opal's tools are used in large-scale bot attacks, such as credential stuffing and fake account creation. Despite being highly efficient, the tools are limited by their CPU-based architecture, which affects scalability. Sold at low prices, these tools are easily accessible, contributing to the rise of cybercrime. Companies targeted by Greasy Opal should ensure robust bot management and modern CAPTCHA solutions to mitigate these threats. Researchers uncovered a critical security flaw in Microsoft 365 Copilot that allowed attackers to exfiltrate sensitive user data through a sophisticated exploit chain. Discovered by security researcher Johan Reberger, the vulnerability combined several techniques, including prompt injection, automatic tool invocation, and ASCII smuggling. The attack began with a malicious email or document containing a prompt injection payload, instructing Copilot to retrieve additional emails and documents without user interaction. The most innovative aspect was ASCII smuggling, which used invisible Unicode characters to hide exfiltrated data within clickable hyperlinks. When a user clicked the link, sensitive information such as MFA codes or sales figures would be sent to an attacker-controlled server. Microsoft patched the vulnerability in January of this year, although specific details of the fix remain unclear. The original proof-of-concept exploits no longer work. A new variant of the Gaff-git botnet, also known as Bashlight, has been discovered, now targeting machines with weak SSH passwords for crypto mining in cloud-native environments. Historically, Gaff-git exploits weak or default credentials to control devices like routers and cameras. The latest variant uses brute force attacks on SSH servers to deploy XMRig, a Monero cryptocurrency miner, leveraging GPU power for mining. Additionally, it includes a worming module to scan and propagate the malware across vulnerable servers. This evolution reflects Gaff-git's shift from DDoS attacks to crypto mining, particularly targeting environments with strong CPU and GPU capabilities. Microsoft is investigating an issue with Exchange Online that incorrectly flagged emails containing images as malicious, leading to their quarantine. The problem has affected both outbound and internal emails, including replies and forwards of previously external messages. System administrators reported that the issue also impacted messages with image signatures. Microsoft is reviewing service telemetry to identify the root cause and develop a fix. The company has already implemented a mitigation strategy, successfully unblocking and replaying over 99% of affected emails. This follows a similar incident in October of 2023, where a faulty anti-spam rule caused outbound emails to be wrongly flagged as spam. Coming up after the break, our guest, Bar Kadori, research team leader at Orca Security, introduces AI GOAT. Stay with us. And now, a word from our sponsor, KnowBe4. It's all connected, and we're not talking conspiracy theories. When it comes to InfoSec tools, effective integrations can make or break your security stack. The same should be true for security awareness training. KnowBe4, provider of the world's largest library of security awareness training, provides a way to integrate your existing security stack tools to help you strengthen your organization's security culture. KnowBe4's Security Coach uses standard APIs to quickly and easily integrate with your existing security products from vendors like Microsoft, CrowdStrike, and Cisco, 35 vendor integrations and counting. Security Coach analyzes your security stack alerts to identify events related to any risky security behavior from your users. Use this information to set up real-time coaching campaigns targeting risky users based on those events from your network, endpoint, identity, or web security vendors. Then coach your users at the moment the risky behavior occurs, with contextual security tips delivered via Microsoft Teams, Slack, or email. Learn more at knowbe4.com/securitycoach. That's knowbe4.com/securitycoach. And we thank KnowBe4 for sponsoring our show. The IT world used to be simpler. You only had to secure and manage environments that you controlled. Then came new technologies and new ways to work. Now, employees, apps, and networks are everywhere. This means poor visibility, security gaps, and added risk. That's why Cloudflare created the first-ever connectivity cloud. Visit cloudflare.com to protect your business everywhere you do business. Bar Kadori is research team leader at Orca Security. I recently sat down to chat with her about AI GOAT, the first open-source AI security learning environment based on the OWASP Top 10 ML risks.
I think it's very hard to ignore the fact that AI has become one of the main things that everybody's talking about it. Like, it became like a common interest from my mom to my niece. So it's like generations over generations are making interest of the same thing. So we saw the same interest that in a very specific manner, right? Also within the security community. So people are asking, how can I protect my AI models, infrastructure, everything that is related to AI, ML, and so on. And many people also were asking, what are actually the risks? So two amazing researchers from my team were having the same thoughts and said, okay, well, the best way to learn stuff is by doing it like yourself. So they really love, in general, the concepts of goats, like the kube goat, the Terra goat, and all the cool goats that there are in the wild and are free in the internet. And they said, okay, why not making one of our own? And that would be like, first of all, our learning method of what are these misconfigurations and how to exploit them, but also to help other people to do the same, to learn, to experience these things with their own hands. So that was basically the thing that started the entire project.
Right. Well, describe it for us. I mean, what exactly is this project and how do people go about using it?
This project is an open source project. You can go to our GitHub repository and actually fork this project. All you need to do is to provide some AWS credentials to our GitHub action, and the entire thing is being built automatically in your environment. What you get there is a vulnerable environment with multiple AI models in the background that could be attacked in multiple ways. So the main theme that Ophir Jacobi and Shir Sadon that came with this idea thought about is creating some store, like an online store where you can buy stuff. So I believe that it's a very common scenario for many online stores at the moment. People are using some AI for recommendations for many cool stuff, like maybe to filter out offensive comments, which is one of our scenarios. And they use these scenarios, and the Terraform that you get from our repo is just building the entire thing for you.
Well, you talk about having 3 missions that are included in AI Goat for the users to complete. Can you describe those for us? What can folks expect to gain from them?
Yes. So we try to adhere to OWASP top 10 for machine learning, because we see that many organizations are using OWASP to set some kind of a standard of what do we need to know and how, and what do we need to be protected from. So we took, I think it's around 4 of those risks. And I'm not sure how much I should deep dive in it because I don't want to spoiler anybody.
Right.
But let's say few very common risks that are listed in the OWASP top 10 are there. And maybe I can give an example. We talked about, for example, filtering of comments with offensive words. Let's say you could be attacking this specific model. So there are many ways to do that. Right? So that's one of the things, one of the scenarios.
I understand that AI Goat is built on Amazon SageMaker. Are there any particular advantages that come with building on that platform?
We mainly chose Amazon because these specific researchers were very familiar with this infrastructure. But generally speaking, it was very easy for us to get the notebook, the Jupyter notebook, and develop everything from there. And it was very easy to combine everything with S3 buckets and all the other services with Amazon. You can find very similar services in every provider, probably even with the same, let's say, simple deployment like Google and Azure. I believe you can achieve the same goal just from our strength and knowledge of working with Amazon.
I see. So have you had any feedback so far of people who have made use of this? How does it seem to be going?
So we've talked with a few, some people that are security experts and some that are not. People that are not security experts were very excited to see how, like, a bunch of code that they might not think about deeply enough actually can create such a horrible misconfiguration, something that actually could be served to customers, to clients. And they were very shocked about that. Security people really like that they can really experience the risks that everybody are talking about. So these are the main feedbacks that we got so far.
And what sort of future plans do you have for AI Goat? And any additional features or missions that you plan on introducing in the future?
Yes, definitely. So our main goal is to cover all, if not most of the OWASP top 10 ML risks. And we also plan to maybe experiment deploying it locally. So you will not need a cloud environment to run the entire environment, to do something that is more local, like with Docker or other local containers or something like that. That's the main plan.
That's Bar Kaduri, research team leader at Orca Security. You can find out more about AI Goat through the links in our show notes. And finally, our Law and Order desk tells us the tale of the clever inmates of the Kentucky Department of Corrections. Inmates are routinely charged for services like email, video visits, games, music, and other digital media through their commissary accounts, which are funded by money deposited by their loved ones. These accounts allow inmates to purchase tangible items from prison canteens, as well as digital products offered by companies like Securus Technologies, which provides the tablets and digital services in many prisons. Email and video visits, which are relatively low-cost services in the outside world, are sold at marked-up rates to inmates. This practice has been criticized as exploitative, especially given the limited financial resources of many prisoners and their families. The money collected from these transactions typically results in profits for both the service providers and the prison system, as contracts often include revenue-sharing agreements. In this case, hundreds of inmates hacked their state-issued tablets, creating over $1 million in fake money. Using a simple trick, placing a minus sign before a dollar amount, they magically added funds to their commissary and digital accounts, allowing them to splurge on email stamps, video visits, games, and music. The scheme went unnoticed until an anonymous tip came in, by which time nearly $88,000 had been spent. The inmates' digital shopping spree was so successful that officials struggled for months to recover the losses, with some prisoners even walking out of jail with cash in their pockets. The fiasco has raised eyebrows and questions about who the real crooks are, those behind bars or the companies profiting off them. As one critic put it, at some point you have to ask yourself who's really committed the crime here. And that's the CyberWire. For links to all of today's stories, check out our daily briefing at thecyberwire.com. We'd love to know what you think of this podcast. Your feedback ensures we deliver the insights that keep you a step ahead in the rapidly changing world of cybersecurity. If you like our show, please share a rating and review in your favorite podcast app. Please also fill out the survey in the show notes or send an email to cyberwire@n2k.com. We're privileged that N2K CyberWire is part of the daily routine of the most influential leaders and operators in the public and private sector, from the Fortune 500 to many of the world's preeminent intelligence and law enforcement agencies. N2K makes it easy for companies to optimize your biggest investment, your people. We make you smarter about your teams while making your teams smarter. Learn how at n2k.com. This episode was produced by Liz Stokes. Our mixer is Trey Hester, with original music and sound design by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Our executive editor is Brandon Karpf. Simone Petrella is our president. Peter Kilpie is our publisher, and I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow. This September 18th and 19th in Denver, a tight community of leading experts is gathering to tackle the toughest cybersecurity challenges we face. It's happening at MWise, the unique conference built by practitioners for practitioners. Brought to you by Mandiant, now part of Google Cloud, MWise features one-to-one access with industry experts and fresh insights into the topics that matter most, right now, to frontline practitioners. Register early and save at mwise.io/cyberwire. That's mwise.io/cyberwire.